Hello, it is your astro coach Sarah Waggle here for Wellness Astrology. This time for the moon in Aquarius. The sun is in Aries. This is Monday the 24th through Wednesday the 26th-ish. And yeah, we're getting this massive dose of innovative energy ahead of the Aries solar eclipse and Neptune moving into Aries. But before we get to that, which will be this weekend, by the way, we have Venus going to pass conjunct Neptune in retrograde. Sorry, Venus in retrograde going to come back into Pisces and conjunct Neptune. And then we will eventually have Mercury and Neptune cross paths at the 29th degree of Pisces later this week. So there's a lot of just kind of like uh floaty energy, but also like creative energy. So this could be like a combo of things. We also have Mars and Chiron about to square off again. That's kind of building. And so there's a lot of stuff that people are still clearing and cleansing and releasing and letting go, and a lot of choices that are probably being made right now. A lot of realizations probably happening, a lot of intuition, a lot of physical symptoms, anything from gut issues to which would be your solar plexus, to root issues, which would be your root chakra, so like your sits bones and things like that. And so lots going on, lots of people feeling lots of things. But with this Aquarius moon conjunct Pluto, we've got these short little transits happening between Venus and Pluto, Mercury and Pluto. It's called a sextile, and it's a tiny transit that can do a lot. It's a tiny transit, that meaning it doesn't last very long because it has a very, very tight orb. But it's these two inner planets, these two personal planets, meaning Venus and Mercury, uh, with Pluto in Aquarius, and it's kind of this innovative creation slash digging up stuff so you can face your shadows, and that's what Pluto does. And there's also kind of that like uh Aries spice to the energy of like, again, with Venus in retrograde, it's and Mercury in retrograde in Aries. There's this like saying what needs to be said sort of thing, and really confronting for the greater good of you, for the greater good of your family, your friend group, your community, your whatever, right? So lots of things going on, not only with ourselves. And the best thing you can do to get through this is really focus on yourself. Like, I get that there's a lot going on geopolitically. I'm not oblivious to it, although kind of, because I'm not really paying attention to it right now, because I feel overwhelmed in my own stuff that I'm moving through and own stuff that like people around me are moving through. So I'm kind of just like checked out as far as what's going on geopolitically. I do kind of tend to keep track of it for the sake of knowing what it is for the astrology, but I'm really, really checked out. But it's kind of one of those like, I think I've said this before, be careful what you're fighting for, fighting about, um, when it comes to issues like that, geopolitical issues. Be careful what you're fighting for and what it's about, what it's really about, right? Like I've talked about like nonprofits and what the scary truth is behind most nonprofits, right? Most nonprofits are not doing what they claim to be doing, right? And so it's kind of one of those like, what are you really actually fighting for, and how can you do that in a different way, right? Like my community has a support group to support its residents who are dealing with like cancer treatments, but like it's not connected to the big giant national nonprofit. It's its own local nonprofit that simply raises money to support people in the community who are needing travel, needing financial support or care packages or food trains or whatever for people who live here, right? We don't go through the big cancer society, whatever it is. We go local, and we support the people in our community. And when I was a kid, there used to be a Lions Club in my area, and I was kind of their only person, right? I was their only support, the only person they were really supporting. And so every year, this was the group that raised money for me to go to my eye specialists for because I needed like specific eye care when I was a kid. And I needed my prosthetic replaced when I was a kid more frequently. And so this group that was local to my area um, was the sole fundraiser to support me. You know what I'm saying? So like what I'm getting at is yes, personal share, but like also to say like these bigger conglomerate nonprofits, are they really doing the things, right? And I think I've talked about like a lot of the blindness organizations right now that are fighting battles that are not blindness related, you know. Meanwhile, appliances aren't accessible to most of us at this point because they're all flat and they're touchscreen and all of those things. And so are they really actually doing what they're supposed to be doing? In my opinion or my observation, no. And so that's kind of what I'm saying about this whole Pluto and Aquarius. And we have the Venus sextile Pluto, the Mercury sextile Pluto, and then Uranus coming up on the square to the United States moon. That's going to be coming up here in probably a month or so, I think. Um, it's all about the people. And are these for the people, big air quotes, organizations actually doing for the people that they're supposed to be serving, right? Same could be said for our government, but we won't go there. But are they doing for our people? And the other thing to think about is if they're not, whether we're talking about nonprofit or we're talking about government, okay, but we'll talk about nonprofit because I don't want to talk about government. But it's the same goddamn thing at the end of the day. If they're not doing for the people, what are they hiding? Okay? What are they hiding? If they're, you know what I'm like, that's what I'm kind of saying here is like, what are you actually fighting? What are these fights about? I'm not saying don't fight for what you feel is right and what you feel is just. I'm saying be careful because each and every one of us at this point with Neptune at 29, getting ready to go into Aries, each and every one of us is vulnerable to fall for something, anything, right? Right? All of us, me included. Yes, I've caught myself in a couple of lately. I'm just like, oh, how did I fucking not know? Kind of moments. I should have known, should have seen it, should have, whatever. Anyway, so just think about that with this moon in Aquarius and organizations and any other entities or geopolitical bullshit. Like, I get that, like, everybody wants the right to live life on their terms, but to be completely honest with you, you can do that right now. You do not need any sort of org or entity or whatever to tell you how to live life on your terms. Okay. Yes, you have to play the Saturnian responsible adult game. We all have to do that. We all have to work the system in our own way to thrive and things like that. I completely get that, right? Kind of like, paying taxes, whether we like it or not, right? And I'm not saying I mean any such way about taxes, but I'm just saying, like, I know a lot of people don't agree with taxes, and I'm not any such way about that. But the point is that really feel into if you are out there on the front lines fighting for a specific cause or a specific group, is it really the fight you think it is? Because with this much Pisces energy, chances are it's not the fight you think it is. So, anywho, all right, let's see what's up with the tarot for this moon in Aquarius. But remember, Aquarius rules the joints, it rules the electrical system of the body. So, with this much innovative, visionary, forward type, futuristic energy, this really could be an opportunity to start feeling into your heart because, certainly as we move into Neptune and Aries next week, you're going to want to follow your heart. And there's something here about like people who are passionate about a cause or a group. And I don't want to discredit that because I've been there too. And yet it's like, this is where I think like most people are still in that programming conditioning of society type of thing, is that they think they're following their heart, but deep down inside, they probably know that what they are doing or what they're fighting for isn't what they think they're fighting for. I just think there's a lot of confusion in the air. All right, we got the Page of Batlets in reverse. Alexander, whoops. Page of Batlets in reverse. Page of Swords. Yeah, this is exactly what I just fucking said. Page of Swords is the page of intellect, page of air. This is exactly what I just said. Is that, are you sure? Are you sure you're doing what you think you're doing? Are you sure you're, taking a stand for the group of people or the entity or the organization that you think you're taking a stand for? Or, do you need to kind of pull back and really examine, you know, like, okay, let me give you like a perfect example. Okay. All right. I'll give you maybe a perfect example. Well, I think it's a good example. So, the gym I go to has a second floor, and the way I have my membership set up, I always go to the second floor. And the guy was like, he's like, hey, could you, support us? We are trying to get a grant to get a new building. And I'm like, well, that sounds all well and good, because it would be great if the gym was all on one floor, except for one problem that could actually screw me over in the end. Because where are they going to put this new building? My town's not that big, but it is big enough that if they put this building in, like, you know what I'm saying? Like where the building is located right now, I can get to it on my own, but if they were to build a new one-story building, it would definitely not be where it currently is. So it's like, okay, yes, I want to help them and I want to support them, but actually, in the end, it could backfire because if the building's on the other side of town that I can't get to, then shit. You know what I'm saying? This is what this page of Batless in reverse is like, do I really want to support them? Because in the end, it could actually come back and bite me in the ass, even though, like, for them, like having a single story building would probably be beneficial, but then it would probably be beneficial to the longevity of their programs. But would it actually serve me to support them? Because what if they build that building on the clear other end of town from where I live and I have no, like, I'd have to get a ride to it and that would suck because right now I don't have to. So that's what I'm saying. It's things as simple as that. Like, King of Latinum upright. Wow, that's odd. I shuffled that deck pretty thoroughly and we got that one again. But it's things like that. It's things like, are you sure like on paper, it sounds like, yes, I totally want to support them getting a grant to build a new gym and da 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 da. That sounds really great. And it would be great for all the people who can't climb stairs and there's no way to put an elevator in their current building. I totally get that because it's a building. But do I really want to support them? Because in the end, it's actually not going to benefit me in the long run. You know what I mean? If it's on the other side of town. Okay, King of Latinum upright. We've had this one before. This is protecting your space, protecting your environment, being attentive to your physical home, your physical body, all of those sorts of things. And so, yeah, I think it's really like, are people sure that they are fighting battles that are ultimately going to benefit them? Because if it's not, why are you fighting? I mean, yes, stand for other people, but and be empathetic to other people's needs and what other people need or whatever, but ultimately you have to take a stand for yourself. And I think we're all going to get a very hard motherfucker of a lesson when Neptune and certainly when Saturn enters Aries. That's the I am of the zodiac. We're all going to get really selfish and hard reality checks as to what battles we're actually fighting for that have nothing to do and that actually won't benefit us. or the individual, each of us in the end. So I think we're all going to get a hard reality check that, we don't realize what we're actually fighting for, or taking a stand for. All right, we got is that a star ancestor? I think so. Um, Follow the voice of your soul. Yeah. And I feel like there's a lot of people who don't know how to even hear the voice of their soul. Again, this goes back to the physical body and the digestion and the root chakra, the solar plexus chakra, is that most people don't even know how to listen to their body. They don't know how to interpret. They don't know how to, I won't say interpret because interpretation takes practice, but like most people don't even understand like if they're having digestive discomfort or if they're having root discomfort, they don't understand like what emotional wound that is indicative of. If you've got digestive discomfort, there's something missing about you and your personal authority and your personal power. If you have root chakra discomfort or discomfort in your back, low back and hips, like that's, your security and your money and your safety and all of those things. And these are the two chakras that I'm hearing a lot of spiritual folks talk about right now. So this is messages from your soul. And your soul's trying to tell you something. Your body's trying to, via your body. Our body is a messenger. Our body discomforts and pains and all those things are messages from our higher self. And most people don't know how to, and I've been saying this since the beginning of Pisces season. This is like one of my biggest concerns is that most people don't know how to listen to their body. They would just rather like detox or medicate or numb or whatever. They don't actually want to like feel into the messages of their body. And yeah, unfortunately for me, it's been a lifelong thing is to really pay attention to my body and what my body tells me. It's kind of why I don't do a lot of excess detoxing. Obviously, I know when to drink more water or electrolytes or whatever, but I don't really do a lot of excess detox type stuff. So because I want to feel when my body is in discomfort or in some sort of way, right? Because it helps me take that discomfort, that pain, that whatever, and do something about it in movement or in meditation or in yoga practice or in simply processing some emotions that are stuck in my physical body. So, anyway, happy beginning of the week. I'll talk to y'all in the next video. Take care.